Greetings everyone. In this video I want to talk about the marking from eating the meat and what it really means.
Greetings! This infinite source truth is made possible by the generous contributions and support of viewers like you. Please consider making a contribution now. Thank you.
When you eat meat in this game as a source player, this only applies to source players. When you eat meat in this game as a source player, you are marking yourself as a beast. Yes, a beast, because you are eating and consuming animals. You are marking yourself with the lowest frequency there is. The lowest frequency there is. You cannot eat animals, meat, flesh, blood in this game and win this game or experience your best life yet. Now, that mark means that when the harvest happens, yes, the harvest, it's a culling. All the soulless ones will be gone, removed. And anyone who has the mark of eating the animals. Now, the mark goes away if you are eating animals right now and you turn to removing them with intent from your foods consumed. You as a source player remove the animals from your foods consumed. Your intent to do so removes the mark from you. Removes the mark. Now, if you are fed something that has meat in it, you can choose to eat around the meat. You can choose to eat the meat at a family meal. However, there's still a price to pay for that, although you will not become marked simply by one day having one meal that has a piece of meat in it. If you weren't the one cooking it, if it was served to you, all right? But it can't be your intent to be day after day consuming meat. In other words, you as a source player can't say, well, my parent is cooking the meat. I'm 30 years old, and I live in my parents' house, and they cook the meat, and they're putting it out there for me to eat. You have a choice. As a 30-year-old, you have a choice to live in your parents' house, and you also have a choice to consume that animal that's being offered to you. That doesn't set you free because your parents are serving it to you as an adult, and you are choosing to consume that thing. You have a 2-week grace period of eating the animals because of whatever circumstance or situation. You have a 2-week grace period that you can restore yourself from. If you go beyond that, there are some exceptions. It's a mindset. What are you doing? Why are you making those choices? It's a deep mindset. Are you trying to get away and get around something in this game, an experience that you want the experience of eating the meat, so therefore you're looking for a way around the rules so you can still participate, and it will not benefit you, and your future experiences are at stake here. Now, what about minors? Children, source players. Children that are in your house. If you are a non-meat eating parent, source player parent, you're a mom and you had source player children, and if you, as the source player mother, have removed the animal, meat, flesh, blood, fish, anything with heart from your foods consumed, then obviously you're not feeding your children the meat. And if someone else, grandma, grandpa, anyone else is feeding that child meat, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not marked by that. They will not be gone in the culling. simply because of that source player mother who has removed the animal meat, flesh, blood, fish, and anything with heart from their foods consumed. They will remain. Now, what if you have a source player mother married to a source player man, and the mother is eating the animals and feeding the children the animals, and the father has determined that he is not going to eat the animals? Well, that child will remain also, because it has one source player parent that is not marked. And as long as that child is living in their household, they're under the relationship and association with that unmarked parent. Okay? Now, the age of accountability, where a child becomes accountable, okay, for their own choices, can vary. It depends. It's an individual, case-by-case source player basis. You can't give an exact on this, okay? You see, because you can't fool yourself, the source, or the matrix in this decision. And your thoughts and your intents to eat meat if you can get away with it. That whole mindset, you'll eat meat if you can get away with it. That mindset right there, that mindset is looking for a way around the rule. And that simple intent will not work for you. Don't do it. Now, casually and occasionally, it's not a problem. But your intent to violate the rule and somehow skirt around it, you will not be able to skirt around it. Your intent is what is counting here. So, the harvest and the culling is where the bodies are unhooked from the pods in the matrix, because they're sold, they're bought. It's a slaughter on the biological mass bodies. You see, you are not that body, so don't get yourself attached to that body, because you're not that a body. And where I talk about there are 2 source fractals in every single source biological body attachment to this game. The source fractal with the intent will be unplugged, but that body will remain until both source fractals have been removed from that body and returned to source. Okay? Now, what I mean here is that those who are harvested go directly back to source awareness outside the matrix. They go to their source awareness outside the matrix. And those who are eating meat in this game who have been harvested, their game is ended abruptly, and they go back to their source awareness. And in their neutrality, they realize that they failed, and they go into isolation. They go into isolation. Isolation away from all other source parts. They go to an isolation within source, because they are like a cancer, and that cancer needs to not spread. So those source fractals are isolated, never to play any more matrix games. It's an all-in game. We created it. We were not forced in here, and in our neutrality, we didn't care, you see, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You as source in your neutrality recognize who you are outside of this game, and it is only in this game that we feel our individuality within this secondary illusionary matrix that we're in. This is the only place that we really feel our individuality, our sense of self. Otherwise, outside of this illusionary experience, we are one, and we know that we're one, okay? I'm going through this on a video about what source is and how this whole thing works within source, and that'll explain it further. But it is important for you as a source player to not have intent to eat and consume the animals. And don't try to force this on your family and friends. Each person, each source player has to come to this in their own time and way. You cannot force this on anyone, and it will not benefit you. I don't care if it's your spouse, your child, your loved ones. You love them, you care for them, you don't want to see them gone out of your lives, you don't want to see them ended. Okay, well, it won't benefit you to try to wake them up. It really will not benefit you. It can make your experience in this game very difficult. Don't do it. Don't even try. Just know that you're responsible for your journey. Your journey alone. It is your journey alone. It is a solo journey. You have other people that are in your soul group that you've all been put together. Some may get this together and they might be on the same path, and others may not. Anyone on a level 5, below a level 5, in other words, on dimensional planes 3 and 4. 4 is where you remove the animals at. If you are on those 2-dimensional planes, those are all being harvested. They're being closed. The red zone is being closed. And you don't want to be there. You don't want to be eating the meat. It's the eating the meat that is going to get you marked as a beast, mark of the beast, and it will get you culled and harvested. Now, I'm going to do another video about what it'll be like after the harvest. But that's another video. So, if you find the information that I'm sharing in these videos to be of benefit to you, then it benefits you to do an energy exchange without expectation. It is a way of saying thank you for the energy that I have put into these videos. And it unlocks higher frequency, unlocks for you. It is a frequency issue. You get out of these videos what you put into them. Abundance, health, and prosperity to you. And it would benefit you to go back and watch the videos again as your frequency rises, because you will not be able to catch higher frequency information in them unless you are a frequency match to them. It's your journey. Make it your best life yet. You can do this. There are great days ahead, even with a harvest.